What is up, everyone? Today is the day. I say that every day, but what's today?
Today is the day we start it. I'm so excited for this.
Everything goes to plan. We should be able to start this thing for the first time. I don't see why not. Everything's hooked up. Everything's good. And we're ready to party. That's all I have to say. So, the big challenge right now is to set up my new ECU, my Link Fury. This is the management I'll be on this season. Link fully hooked it up this time, and I couldn't be more excited. So, the Link Fury is a really badass ECU. The control on it is unreal. We just downloaded this program last night, and we've been trying to get familiar with it. It's a lot to take in at first.
It's a lot. So, I mean, that's always the challenge with new tuning software.
Yeah, exactly. So they all, I mean, in like the broadest way of saying it, they all basically do the same thing, but they're all organized differently. So you always have to get, familiar with the shortcuts. Sometimes they word things different manner. Sometimes things are layered that other things aren't in other programs, and you kind of just have to figure it all out. So that's what we've been doing right now.
Yep.
We have to make a base map, a startup map, whatever you want to call it. So we have to make sure all our settings on our ECU, on our tune, matches our engine, because there's a lot of things different through different engines. So we started with a plain stock 2J base map, and we're modding it for our fully modded 1JZ with all link sensors set up right here. Since this is a full standalone ECU, we have to basically define all our inputs. Luckily, Earl Wiring Specialties gave me a full pinout diagram of our harness to our ECU, so we know where every sensor goes to which bank. So we can basically go in our setup in Link, match our inputs right here, and just make sure we define them correctly with our pinout. So let's open up the goods. Man, this thing is beautiful. I love how compact this thing is. Feels very durable. It's got a nice plate in the back for mounting. Clicks right in and seems to be waterproof, which can't beat.
Nope.
All right, first time. Come on. Is this not even? Oh.
The USB struggles.
Always takes 3 tries.
So this is cool. There's a lot of test modes on here, which makes our life a lot easier, making sure everything's set up properly. So we're gonna test each ignition coil and make sure they're all set on the right time and they're all working. This should be coil 1. I heard it. Is it pulsing? Oh yeah. You hear it pulsing?
Yeah, I definitely do.
All right, number 5, Derek. Ready?
Here we go. We in there.
So good thing we did an ignition test, because we found one coil wasn't firing because the connector wasn't fully seated, and that would have been a misfire.
I don't know how that happened, Jimmy.
Let's try the injector testing. Let's see, ready? Injector 1. Oh, that's a loud one. Yep.
Number 1.
We've been tag teaming this thing, putting in all inputs and all outputs. We've made it onto our auxiliary outputs, things like our Vvti solenoid, our boost solenoid, our TAC, and our IAC, idle air control valve. And we're shutting off all the ones that are pre-made on this file that we are not using, because this is just a generic startup map.
I just gotta go ahead and save the file here.
All right, so it's basically ready to start. We still have to drain the fuel. We still have to purge the fuel system, and then I got to put training fluid in because I don't want to, spin on storage fluid. So we got to drain out the storage fluid, pump in some draining fluid, and hope it doesn't leak out the rear main seal or the output shaft seal.
You put a drive shaft in it?
No, but it shouldn't leak out.
You still got the plug? Where's your plug?
I lost the butt plug.
Oh my god, the butt plug!
This is the worst thing ever. I bought the wrong pump. We'll get it.
Oh my gosh, that is the slowest, worst. Right. We made it past the kink. Alright, she's going in.
This sucks. There's fluid everywhere, dude.
Yeah, this is a mess. We're in bad shape all around here, boys.
Little pumps.
Short strokes, as they say.
Short strokes. Really gets you going. I think we're gonna just dry crank it, let it build some oil pressure, get some oil in the lines, get some oil to the turbo, and everything like that, just so it's been sitting for a really long time. So, and then from there, then we're gonna purge out the fuel system, get everything out of it, and then try and start her up. Sounds like it's got good volts. Well, it doesn't sound like I have a dead cylinder, so that's good.
No. B-Hall, how many volts
Dude,
do you
the
think that
turbo's
was?
even spinning on the thing.
Hell yeah. That sounds good.
It does.
It's a good first sign.
Yeah, that's a healthy sound.
So let's purge the fuel now.
Now, are you excited right now?
Yeah, that makes you feel better. So Derek, tell them why I gotta purge the fuel.
Because usually when you assemble a fuel system, you get a bunch of crap in the line, so you don't want that stuck in the injectors. So.
Hell yeah.
Oh God! Stop doing that!
Really? Well, it's just dangling. All right, do it again. Oh, she's a pumper. All right, I think we're almost full.
All right. Wow, that pushes a lot of fluid. Fuel leak first test. Ready?
Here we go. Oh damn!
Leak.
We had a big old air purge there.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Oh, I hear a noise over here. Yep, we got a major leakage.
Oh, God.
Just in the one spot here.
All right, we had 2 small fuel leaks. We fixed them. Now the pump is just eating. This thing is pushing a lot of fluid. It's like makes you kind of anxious. Does that make you anxious, or is that just me?
Well, it's not leaking now, so I'm not anxious anymore.
Lots happening. Cool.
I think you're anxious because we're about to fire up your 1JZ.
Derek's gonna keep an eye on all the gauges, make sure everything's straight, and we're about to start her up. No jam.
No jam.
Try again. All right, add some more ground directed to the harness because we're scared the ECU is dropping voltage, but we'll find out. Let's try one more time. No, just keep trying it. Dang starter.
Yeah, those are fucking nice hits, kid.
Hell yeah, hard hitting.
Hold on. Ow. Oh, you got a roll cage. Okay.
Say when. So we got it to kind of run when the fuel pump's off. So we're worried it's a whole voltage issue, because that's what it usually comes down to. Like, Derek, you want to start it real quick? It is with the fuel pump off.
Turn the pump on.
See, we got it to run a little bit. Yeah, I'll get on it. The speed of light, it's now out. Yeah, that was pretty quick, right?
I wouldn't call it the speed of light, but it was pretty quick.
No, that was a pain in the ass. That sucked. We need a new starter. There you go. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
Got him. Thank God they had this in stores. It was not easy to find. All right, the new starter is in. Hammered it in. Nice little hour and a half.
Not
delay.
bad, not bad.
Not bad. We got it here. We're good to go. You want to give her a little test crank, make sure she works? Oh, yeah.
Yo!
Oh, hi, Jip. How you doing?
I appreciate Jip's enthusiasm to that cranking because he didn't know that we've been trying to start it all day.
That was fast.
So we got to see if this magically fixed our voltage issue.
Get a socket on.
You good back there? The fuel pump's off. That's all on flooded gas.
Alright, so prime the fuel pump.
And then turn it off, and then we're going to start it, and then so once it starts running, turn the pump back on. We have some issues here, but we'll figure it out. I think that was running all off of just flooded gas inside the engine. So. It's running! What'd you do?
It just continuously goes offline.
Alrighty then. It's idling. I'm like anticipating it to just shut off at any point. Not bad. I mean, there's no coolant in it, Derek, so. Alright, well, this is now a thing. Now it starts like a JZ.
Sounds good.
What's that buzzing?
Power steering.
Perfect. That makes sense.
Something that should be buzzing.
Dude, it sounds really good.
It sounds really good.
It's quiet.
Really good.
The engine's quiet, the exhaust is quiet,
Yep.
and it's smooth.
It's very smooth.
So, basically everything that could possibly add fuel on the engine during cranking and startup, because there's a lot of functions. There's cranking enrichment, there's warm-up enrichment, there's post-cranking enrichment. There's a bunch of stuff. We basically turned all of it off, and it brought down our pulse width, which is how long the injectors are on for. Brought it all the way down, and now it runs fine. So it was just getting way too much fuel, and yeah, now we got to figure out why it's getting over. It doesn't really explain it though.
No, it doesn't explain it because like it had reasonable values.
Reasonable values in it, yeah. So something's still messed up. I wonder if like can we scale the? Do you think the injectors are scaled wrong? Like they're scaled?
I think we need to put in the injector data properly.
Okay, so we have to redo the injector data, and then we also have we're having an issue where when the car is running, the ECU disconnects from the computer, and that's most likely a voltage issue thing, and that's huge because we can't make changes when it's running, and we need to. All right, so we're just going full send with the ground, and we're actually grounding the battery straight to the engine. We went all the way around, so probably end up keeping it. I'm just gonna run it in the car, but for now, for the sake of just getting this like together and make sure it's okay, we just ran around the car. So if this doesn't solve our voltage problem, that means we have a bigger issue. Start her up. Your ECU goes offline. All right, well, the car is starting up easily and running well, which is really good news, but still concerned about the ECU going offline. So that didn't really help, unfortunately. We're gonna pull out the coils and replace them with factory GM coils because I'm nervous that these cheap ass coils are causing all the issues. And Derek luckily had a set of truck coils, OEM ones, up in his loft that are a little crusty, but they'll do the trick, and I'm not complaining, so thank you so much.
No problem.
So we're gonna take them out of the brackets, bend all the brackets off from, do all that, clean up and put them in, so we'll see you in like 35 minutes. Yeah, well, that was some teamwork right there. You got this quick, so cool. I'm happy. This makes me feel a lot better actually having OEM coils in here. So before, when we were testing the ignition coils, it was actually kicking us offline on the computer, which we couldn't tell was a software thing or if it was actually a noise thing. And it makes sense if it's a noise thing, because it shouldn't be doing that. So I'm gonna do an ignition test once again, turn the coils on manually, and see if it kicks us offline or not. All right. Get it on, go on, and let's try number 2. Still online. Number 3. Still online. This is good news so far. Let's turn all of them on. Oh, and we're offline. We've been in full diag mode, and when that happens, the camera kind of gets lost. Chip, how you doing?
Making progress.
He's re-lipping his wheels, just to let you guys know. Yeah. Okay, so the whole issue this whole time has been the ignition noise. We knew that because the ignition coils, when we put them in test mode, it shuts the ECU off, so that was our first clue to there was something wrong. We kind of ignored it for a while, but then when the ECU started to disconnect every time we started it, we kind of went back to it. Regrounded the coil harness, we regrounded the engine, we added an ass ton of grounds, which usually helps clear up the noise. We then replaced them with OEM coils because I thought my coils were bunk because they were kind of cheap. Didn't fix it. So then we started to think about it some more and decided to replace the plug wires, and we noticed something pretty big. So when you convert LS coils to JZs, usually you could just slip a JZ boot on it and it clicks right on the plug. So it actually leaves a gap from the top of the plug to the inside of the coil, so it actually has to spark. The spark actually has to travel a distance first, which we just realized, and it was explaining why they were so loud when we were testing them. I just got some plug wires in the back that I had spare for the LSZ, and I think it might help.
Yeah, we do not want to run the car like this, but it will be good
for the sake of testing. So I think this will really help, because if it was arcing dramatically like that, it could create a lot more noise in the system. So let's see. Put it on test mode.
I'm nervous.
Ooh. Cylinder just fired. Did you hear that?
Yep, I did.
That's actually really funny.
We are still online, which is the most progress we have ever made.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for 3.
Bring it on 3. I hope
it might backfire. You might want. You know,
I hope it does. It'd be cool.
This is 3 online.
3 online still.
This is massive breakthrough for us, and I'm actually happy. I'm not just.
This is huge. We've been fighting this for hours.
Yeah, this has been ridiculous. Wow, this is huge. Can we put coolant in this thing and let's run this car?
Just try to start it right now.
He said, say less. You didn't even say a word, you just started like click.
Why is that? How nice is that?
Yeah, and then once you get on throttle, it's gonna party. Wow!
Well, guys, that was my fault. 100%. So I believe you're supposed to put a spring in between the coil in the boot, so it actually has a contact point to reach the top of the spark plug. Now that I'm realizing that, make sure when you do the LS conversion in a 1J, you put a spring in it, because that's what you're supposed to do.
We are online and working phenomenally.
So 100% my fault.
I mean, let's not point fingers, but yeah, it was
100%
entirely your fault.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I rushed it, didn't do my research, and it didn't work out, so. Have the fans hardwired, and we got coolant in it so far, and it now holds a steady idle that it's time to be excited about it. This is cool. I think we finally got it down. Stupid mistake. With that mistake, made us dial in a lot of other things that I'm happy about, so sometimes it does lead to some good things. So now we're gonna get into the ECU, dial in the base map, and get this thing up to operating temp for the first time.
This is probably my favorite tool. It works so well. Look at it. Drink up, Jay-Z. Drink up.
Alright, so just like every other car put together, the thermostat doesn't want to open. I can never get these things to open. I'm just going to buy myself a Venturi one day and just make it happen. But only issue we're really having now is the fact that the injectors are acting like they're basically double the size. So, seems like everything in the fuel settings are fine. We checked them over hundreds of times at this point. And we're starting to assume that I might have bigger injectors. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking something crazy like that.
So I can always pull them out tomorrow, get them flow tested, make sure they're 1000s, but they could have accidentally sent me 2200s, because if you scale it for 2200s, the numbers make sense, so.
Oh, that sounds so sick.
I want to try.
The sequential's so loud.
Oh my god. That sounds sick.
So the turbo is used. It was on Adam's RB25, and it might be hurt. It whines a lot louder than it should. There's no excessive play on it. It's getting plenty of oil. I don't know why it's whining. It doesn't come in contact with any of the houses. It seems fine, but it is loud. So I just might run it till it blows, I guess.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, this could last me 2 seasons with no biggie.
It could be normal. We don't know.
Yeah, I remember it did whine on his RB25. Maybe it is normal. It'll probably quiet up a lot when I put an intake on it, but the blow-off valve sounds sick.
Hell yeah. Need one more. Damn!
Yeah! Woo!
Cool.
So it was quite a hike getting this thing started today, but we had to mess with a lot of stuff. I mean, this is, everything on this build is touched and custom. It's all, it's all aftermarket sensors, aftermarket injectors, different coil packs, different ECU, different harness, everything. So it took some finessing, but we got it to run. So a few kinks, but I would say it wasn't too bad. So we found some things I have to improve on, and we're gonna get that done this week, and hopefully we'll have this thing running and driving by hopefully this weekend we'll have this thing running and driving. My shifter should be coming Friday, and that's the last piece to getting it fully hooked up and on the ground. So I had to take my turbo housing off because my oil drain was leaking because it wasn't tight enough, and I have to get it drilled and tapped tomorrow right here so I can run a line to my wastegate. And then besides that, I still got to figure out how I can actually run my LQ9 coil packs the correct way. I believe they sell a spring that actually goes in it that works. I have to look more into that. And then yeah, besides that, it's running great, it's idling great. I'm stoked. And yeah, I can't thank Derek enough for sticking around with me all day. It was really awesome to have his support, so Derek, thank you. But you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and see you tomorrow.